Learn English through stories. Intermediate English. The 7 Ravens. 7 brothers cursed into ravens. Can one sister save them? Read along to find out. Improve your English with this classic story as you build vocabulary and confidence to the very end. Don't just study English, live it through stories. A frail daughter. In a grand castle lived a king and queen with 7 strong sons and 1 tiny, frail daughter. They loved all their children, but they worried endlessly about the little girl. To make her strong, they decided she must be baptized immediately, hoping a blessing would grant her good health and a long life. Fetching holy water. The king sent his 7 sons to fetch holy water from a special well. "Hurry, my boys," he urged, handing them a large clay jug. "Your sister's health depends on your speed." The brothers promised to be swift and careful, eager to help the little sister they already adored so much. Jug shattered. The 7 brothers raced to the well, each wanting to be the one to draw the water. In their excitement, they argued over who should hold the heavy jug. Suddenly it slipped from their grasp and tumbled down into the dark well, shattering at the bottom with a loud, echoing splash. Brothers' fear. A dreadful silence fell over the brothers. They stared at each other, their faces pale with fear. They knew their father would be consumed with fury. Too scared to go home and admit their clumsy mistake, they hid amongst the trees in the woods, not knowing what to do next. The king's curse. Back at the castle, the king waited and waited. His deep worry slowly curdled into a hot anger. He believed his sons were playing foolish games while their sister was so ill. In his rage, he looked to the sky and shouted a terrible curse. "I wish those wretched boys were turned into ravens." 7 ravens. No sooner had he spoken the words than he heard a whirring sound above him. The king looked up to see 7 black ravens circling in the sky. They cawed sadly before flying away over the dark forest. His heart froze with horror as he realized what his terrible anger had just done. Elara grows stronger. The curse was done and the boys were gone. The little daughter, whose name was Elara, miraculously began to grow stronger. She grew up to be a kind and beautiful girl, but she was often lonely. Her parents, filled with grief, never spoke of the sons they had lost so long ago. The Forgotten Portrait. One day, Elara found a dusty, forgotten portrait of 7 handsome boys. She asked her mother who they were, and the queen, with tears in her eyes, finally told her the sad story of her lost brothers and the curse that had stolen them away from the family all those years ago. Elara's quest. Elara's heart ached for the brothers she had never met. She felt a deep sense of responsibility and knew she had to find them. That very night, she secretly packed a small bag and set off on her quest, determined to break the curse and bring her family back together again. The sun's fury. Her journey took her to the very edge of the world, where she came face to face with the sun. But the sun was a fiery, frightening thing. "Begone!" It sizzled, its heat unbearable. "I am too hot, and I eat little children." Elara was terrified and ran away as fast as she could. the moon's threat. Next, Elara travelled through the darkness until she reached the moon. But the moon was just as fearsome. It was a cold, cruel face in the dark sky. "I smell the flesh of a human," it whispered in a chilling voice. Frightened by its icy glare, Elara fled once more into the night. The kind stars. Finally, she came to the stars, who twinkled kindly and welcomed her. The gentle morning star floated down to meet her. "We know of your quest, brave Elara," it said softly. "Your brothers are trapped inside the glass mountain. You will need this to open the gate and set them free." The chicken bone key. The morning star gave Elara a tiny, fragile chicken bone. "Do not lose this," it warned gently. "It is the only key that can unlock the glass mountain's gate." Elara thanked the star, wrapped the precious bone carefully in a cloth, and continued on her long and difficult journey. The lost key. After much travel, Elara arrived at a towering mountain made entirely of shimmering glass. She found the gate, but it was locked tight. She reached for the cloth to get the key, but her heart sank. The cloth was empty. She had lost the chicken bones somewhere along the way. The painful choice. Despair washed over her, but she refused to give up. She had come too far to fail now. Taking a deep breath, she made a brave and painful choice. She took a small knife from her pocket and cut off the tip of her own little finger to use as a key to open the lock. The glass gate opens. She placed her finger into the lock. With a soft click, the great glass gate swung open. As Elara stepped inside the mountain, a small, kindly dwarf with a long white beard greeted her. "I have been expecting you," he said. "What is it you seek in this lonely, silent place?" "Seeking the brothers." "I am looking for my 7 brothers," Elara explained. "They were turned into ravens by a curse." The dwarf nodded sadly. "The Lord Ravens are not at home," he said. "But they will return soon for their supper. Please come in and wait for them. You must be very tired from your travels." 7 plates, 7 cups. The dwarf led her to a long table set with 7 tiny plates and 7 tiny cups. He told her she could eat and drink if she was hungry. Wanting to leave a sign for her brothers, Elara took a tiny crumb from each plate and then drank a tiny sip of water from each cup. The golden ring. Before she hid, she took the golden ring her parents had given her and gently dropped it into the very last cup. Just then, she heard a great rushing of wings. "They are here!" whispered the dwarf. Elara quickly hid behind a curtain, her heart pounding with hope and fear. Ravens return. The 7 ravens flew in and landed at the table. But as they began to eat, the first one cried, "Who has been eating from my plate?" Another squawked, "And who has been drinking from my cup? It tastes of a human mouth." They hopped about, confused and agitated by the disturbance. The shiny ring. The 7th raven drank from his cup, and as he reached the bottom, something shiny rolled out. It was the ring. He recognized it instantly. "This is our parents' ring," he called. "Oh, if only our dear sister were here, Then we would finally be free from this awful curse. Elara reveals herself. Hearing his heartfelt wish, Elara could wait no longer. She stepped out from behind the curtain. "I am here, my brothers," she said softly. The 7 ravens turned to look at her, their beady eyes wide with astonishment. For a moment, there was complete silence in the great glass hall. The curse broken. As she stood before them, a magical light filled the room. The ravens' black feathers melted away like shadows, and one by one they transformed back into the 7 handsome young men from the portrait. They were human again. The curse was finally broken by their sister's unwavering love. What about you? Elara faced danger and gave up part of herself to save her family. What about you? Have you ever shown love, courage, or sacrifice for someone important in your life? Share your story in the comments. It might inspire others. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share for more fun English lessons.